Alrighty, what's going on everybody? Ninja Star here, and today we are back at it again with a One Piece video for you all. Now today's One Piece video is a One Piece collaboration video. I am bringing somebody on the channel who I don't think has really made his debut on the channel. I'm happy to be introducing him, and before I go any further, I want you guys to go down in the description below, click that link to Fronky's YouTube channel. This guy makes some awesome content, very consistent with his One Piece stuff, and his videos are overall really interesting to listen to. Give your thoughts in the comment section down below. They're interesting topics, everything like that. So yeah, how are you doing, Fronky?
Hey, what's going on? Thanks for having me, dude.
Totally, and like I said, go check out his channel, everything like that. So today's topic for the video is something like a little small detail, but it's this small detail is so impactful, even though it was only like 3 words from Katakuri. These 3 words are something we were all kind of speculating about, like, okay, is it true? Is he gonna do this or whatever? And it's Katakuri's Devil Fruit awakening in One Piece. So Katakuri is a character who his Devil Fruit has been very similar, like the way he used it in battle has been very similar to Luffy's, with the way he's able to stretch, with the way he's able to use it to its fullest capacities and everything like that. And I feel like this whole mirror match has been played out in Whole Cake Island as like the climax battle. Like, sure, we had other 1v1s, like, Luffy versus Cracker, Luffy versus Sanji, everything like that, but this is the true final climactic battle of Whole Cake Island. It seems like a Luffy versus Rob Lucci, or a Luffy versus Doflamingo, or something like that. It's one of those battles, and overall Katakuri has just been kind of bodying Luffy left and right. And with the way he's using his Devil Fruit, he's mentioned, I think it was Kara that mentioned it, that his Devil Fruit's so similar to Luffy's, to the point where, it's kind of funny, they're doing this in the mirror world. It's like a mirror match, everything like that. I like that from Oda, but I begin to notice that with the way Katakuri, utilizes Devil Fruit and everything, it seems to be... Okay, he's even said this, it's like a better version of Luffy's with the way he used it and everything. Katakuri's way more experienced, it seems like he's older anyways, and now he even says himself, okay, I have an awakened Devil Fruit. Luffy even states that this is almost similar to how Doflamingo did, where he manipulates the environment. This isn't like a Logia awakening or a Zoan awakening, because I remember with Zoan, there were those impel down guards, those little, I don't know, fodder characters. They weren't important, but they were awakened, it seems. And with another Logia, it was Aokiji and Akainu. It wasn't really said, but I think it's heavily implied that with the way they were changing the climate and everything, it's pretty safe to say, yeah, their Devil Fruits awakened at the time. With Paramecia, we haven't really seen much. Sure, of course, we saw Doflamingo using it in Dressrosa, and he kind of he gave a little brief explanation of Devil Fruit awakenings, and now we're seeing Katakuri use his Devil Fruit awakening and even say it. So it makes you wonder, okay, what are Luffy's gonna work? Is Luffy gonna turn the environment to rubber? I don't know. I rambled on long enough, dude. What are your thoughts? Would you like to add anything? And
yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, it's definitely extremely exciting that finally we're getting to see someone besides Dofi, Paramecia, I mean, use an awakening. It's very cool. I will say though, I was slightly disappointed just because this whole time, I've been thinking that the Zoans are all going to be consistent, the Logias will probably be consistent, but since Paramecia is kind of known as the oddball group of the Devil Fruits, I kind of expected the awakenings to be the same way, where, depending on what your fruit is, its awakening would have an effect, suited towards that. Where it seems like Katakuri's awakening is pretty much working exactly like Doflamingo's, which, I mean, I guess I probably should have expected that, but I don't know. It's just I was expecting more, and sometimes it doesn't make sense for that to be the case. What if Law's fruit had an awakening? What is he gonna turn the environment into?
Right.
That'd be pretty strange. So yeah, that was my really first thing I thought of when that came out. I was like, oh, well, whatever. That doesn't completely destroy the idea, I guess.
So it brings about the whole Paramecia idea. I like what you said there, where Logias are pretty much consistent for the most part, an element, be able to be a tangible substance, whatever. And with Zoans, it's okay, you're able to turn into an animal, nature, anything like that. And in Chopper Skates is different, but let's not talk about him. And with Paramecia, it's that weird category that just has everything else. You can do, Oda just is okay, so we have your Logias, your Zoans, shouldn't I just have one category that has everything? And you get stuff You got stuff like the jacket fruit, which is like the most random fruit ever. You got stuff like Law's devil fruit. I don't know, it's just all over the place, and it makes you wonder, like, okay, each awakening's probably going to be different. Like, you know, with Katakuri and Doflamingos, you know, of course, they're way different devil fruits, but the way they're awakening, it seems like they're quite similar, like manipulating the environment around to be made of mochi or string. And I feel like Katakuri, his devil fruit's kind of weird. Like, he's able to make his own, like the Paramecia devil fruit takes the host of the user's body. Like, Luffy is not able to create rubber. Luffy is not able to make the environment into rubber. Luffy becomes rubber, essentially. And Katakuri, he becomes mochi, and I feel like he's also able to create mochi from the way he's been using it and everything. Like, look at how he created that little, like, scythe, and, like, not scythe, but that trident and everything. That was wild. I'm pretty sure that was made out of mochi armament hockey and everything. So it's kind
Do you think so? It's I didn't even consider that.
I don't know, because, like, why would, like, it doesn't seem logical why he would just, like, have that just sitting out of the blue. So I feel like that's made of mochi, armament hockey, everything like that. It just makes sense. Plus, he can mold it as freely as he wants, so, you know, it kind of works like that. And with the whole awakening situation, like I said, Katakuri's is an in-between of both, but I feel like with Luffy's, it's gonna be pretty straightforward. It's gonna be sort of like Katakuri's, where he's able to manipulate the environment, maybe make it into a rubbery world. Like, I just imagine a hypothetical situation right now. I'm not saying, like, this is my 100% confirmed theory, because I'm gonna be honest, I really don't have that much evidence. It's just like a cool speculation that I think you all may be interested. Maybe Luffy is able to somehow awaken his devil fruit in his fight with Katakuri without him even knowing, or something like that. And Katakuri, you just see him, like, bouncing everywhere, like, yo, what the heck is this? Luffy is in Gear 4th, maybe, like, I don't know, Gear 4th Speed Man, or Gear 4th Tank Man, like, closed version, or something like that. And you just see Luffy, as he's used to bouncing around, because, you know, he was used to the bounciness of Gear 4th. Katakuri isn't used to this, so maybe Luffy gains the upper hand here, because he's able to bounce his opponent around, get them all over the place, and their opponent's not used to this, but Luffy is, because, you know, he's made of rubber, everything like that. I could see him doing, in that context of how he awakens his devil fruit, and he could also be like Katakuri, where he's able to not only create, like, substances with rubber, like maybe he's able to, like, maybe when he goes Gear 5th, he's gonna get like a staff or something like that, like a staff made out of rubber. That's crazy, but we'll save that for Wano. And then maybe he's also able to, how do I put this, he's somehow able to, I just said, I already said, I don't know why I repeated myself, but like I said, maybe able to create rubber, like just the ability to create rubber and manipulate the environment. That's kind of like the trifecta with the whole Doflamingo, Katakuri, Luffy situation. Like, it's not like Laws where it's completely different. Like, sure, string is way different than mochi and rubber, but with the way, from what we've seen of Doflamingo and Katakuri and Luffy, I think they could work pretty similar ways. And then it kind of brings about the question, like, okay, what's the whole deal with these other fruits? Like, is Law's fruit gonna be that ultimate surgery, awakening, whatever? What are your thoughts, man? Would you like to add anything? I know I rambled on a lot there, but I don't know, that this really got me thinking. This is a fun topic.
Well, I mean, speaking of the awakening specifically, I don't really know exactly what it's capable of, like if we've seen everything from Katakuri, and I don't know if this is even really directly related to the awakening, but something else interesting that happened in the chapter right around the same time was Brûlé was talking about how Katakuri has, like, never sat down or whatever, right? Like, is that pretty much what she said? Okay, so I'm thinking, you know, Luffy is, I don't know if he can use that to his advantage, really, but I have a feeling that somehow this fight is going to end with, like, Katakuri on his ass, in the most literal sense. I mean, right? Like, I'm wondering if somehow, like, either maybe Luffy getting an awakening or Gear 5th or something. I highly doubt that. I highly doubt either of those will happen, but maybe somehow he'll be able to use Katakuri's awakening against him. I don't know, but I have a feeling for sure that that is how it's going to end, with Katakuri on his ass. You can quote me right here.
I don't know, man. It's kind of all over the place. Like, I like what you mentioned. Like, maybe this is the fight where Katakuri is actually, like, falls down, because I think the specific line was Katakuri has never well, of course he sat down. Like, in his debut, he was sitting down, like, with a thumbs up and everything. But I think what Brûlé meant was, like, he's fallen back. Like, how Katakuri's pushing Luffy back and everything like that. Katakuri's never been in that situation. And I feel like with Luffy, with the way, since Rubber is way different than Mochi, way more bouncy than Mochi, everything like that, Luffy is maybe able to trick Katakuri and everything like that, because we did see Katakuri, he's right before the end of their fight in this chapter, Katakuri was like, Gear 4th, this should be interesting. And Luffy, I could potentially see him using like a different variant of Gear 4th, we saw like Katakuri's already seen Gear 4th. He saw it at the wedding, you know, when Luffy went Gear 4th against Big Bomb, and he has observation haki, so he's probably going to be predicting Luffy's Gear 4, but it makes you wonder, like, okay, Luffy's pretty unpredictable, Luffy has observation haki too, and even Katakuri compliments Luffy, saying, you're actually giving me a lot of work with your observation haki as well. So it kind of brings about, like, okay, maybe Luffy's going to sort of outsmart Katakuri by being super unpredictable and using his Devil Fruit to the fullest, going all bounce mode or something like that. And this could be the fight where Luffy knocks Katakuri to its back, and I think it's kind of funny because I don't remember if this was the exact line, but I remember a commenter in like a video I was watching or something said this kind of parallels back to the Luffy versus Rob Lucci fight, where Luffy says this fight isn't going to end until I'm completely down on my back, on everything like that, falling down or everything like that, and the fight kept going. And I kind of like how Oda's doing that parallel thing. Now, of course, you know, the dialogue's going to be different because translations and everything, but it still is kind of cool to think about. It's the fights are mirroring each other more and more, and that makes you wonder even more, like, okay, Luffy might potentially win the battle like how he did with Lucci, just purely based off his will and everything like that. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I was totally against the idea of Luffy winning the battle first. I even, you know, made that video saying, like, no way, they're going to team up or something ridiculous like that. But I don't think that's the case anymore. I didn't really think he would last this long, honestly. And now Katakuri is even like, geez, this guy is really actually making it pretty difficult on me. And, I mean, it is true that there's a possibility that there's more from Luffy we haven't seen yet. So I think it's definitely a possibility, especially since he's been coming out with new Gear 4th stuff that we haven't actually seen before. So there's really no reason to believe that we've seen everything. That'd kind of be naive, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, essentially, like, just with the way things have been, it doesn't... Luffy's been sort of unpredictable. Like, when we were going in, we're like, I remember it was like chapter 878 or something like that, where we see the Luffy and Katakuri, and then the chapter ends, like, their whole face-off, like, just looking at each other, staring each other down. That was definitely a great moment, and then we're actually seeing Katakuri bodying Luffy. Luffy, yes, he had a strong will to continue that battle, but it was, in my opinion, it was only until I think the chapter right before this, where Luffy started, like, picking up in terms of getting more of a motivation to fight. Because, of course, you know, his crew's on the line here, he has a lot to lose, he also has a lot to gain. It's kind of like that whole Rob Lucci battle, like I said, but now he's even lied to his friends. Luffy is not a liar, as we've seen, and he wants to make sure his friends don't worry about this, because this is quite different than the other battles Luffy has been in with Gear 4th, or, you know, like, battles in terms of like a serious 1v1 in Whole Cake Island, not including the Sanji fight. Like with Cracker, he had Gear 4th and he had Nami helping him, so when he was out of Gear 4th, you know, he could at least rest for a bit while Nami held them off, everything like that with the homies. And in Dressrosa, he had the Dressrosa people helping him out, so while he was all tired out and everything of Gear 4th, they were kind of just protecting him around the city, waiting for the 10 minutes to be up, and, you know, it was like that. So they had the whole environment. Here, though, Luffy doesn't have any other outside help, and Luffy's all on his own for this one. He is all on his own. Katakuri, from the moment this started, from the moment Katakuri laid that first punch, we're like, yeah, there's no way Luffy's gonna win. But now that he's actually lied to his friends, saying, you know what, everything's gonna be okay, come on guys, I wanna, like, Luffy, he sticks to his promises, alright, here, at least he tries to stick with his promises, he tries to, you see how loyal he is to his friends, Nakama, everything like that. So he's not just going to let them down like this and get them this false sense of hope. He's going to try to live up to their expectations and say, yo, you know what? I made it out of this battle. I won, everything like that. And now we can get out of Whole Cake Island and everything. So I feel like that's going to give Luffy a stronger motivation. And we saw, like, right after that, he was like, all right. Like, he got right back up after he finished speaking with them. And it seemed like he had a little bit more of a positive phase. I don't know if this was just like, yeah, I'm about to die anyways. Let's just, I don't know if it was like nervous or whatever, but regardless though, it's kind of funny how the week after that, One Piece was on break, so it kind of shows like, okay, yeah, this is the turning point for the battle, where now Luffy is gaining more of a motivation, and we see here, Luffy is not particularly causing issues to Katakuri, but he is holding his own, kind of stalling time in a sense, even though that's not really what they're aiming for, but Katakuri's like, okay, yeah, now I'm starting to take a little more caution for you and everything. That's kind of what this battle has come down to. Would you like to add anything, or can we end off the video?
Oh yeah, I mean, just one more thing, just like you were saying, I totally agree. Up until this point, Luffy has had absolutely no chance of really winning any of the battles he's been having in Gear 4th. Like against Doflamingo, he was helped by the citizens, and in Cracker's battle, he was totally helped by Nami. I mean, without her, there would have been no way. So it is really good question, like, is he going to be able to beat Katakuri just using Gear 4th? I don't think so, since Katakuri is, I think, significantly stronger than Cracker and Dofi. So, I don't know, you know?
Yeah, so I think that's gonna end off the video. I'm pretty sure that was your last point. I got all my thoughts out here. You know, I had a lot of thoughts. Fronky had a lot of thoughts too. We both got them out, and now we want to hear your guys' perspective. What do you guys think about the whole Paramecia next level awakening, the whole Luffy versus Katakuri battle right now? Luffy has now more of a motivation to fight. It was kind of like a main topic and a little subtopic, but regardless, we want to hear your guys' opinions. Do you agree, disagree? Do you think Luffy's gonna do Gear 5th? I don't know about that, but no matter what crazy speculation you might have, I still want to hear what you have to say. If you have, you know, justified reasons, everything like that, it still can be a great discussion in the comment section down below. Like I said at the beginning of this video, be sure to go down in the description below and check out Fronky's channel. Give the guy some support, give the guy some love, everything like that. Always making great content, and be sure to subscribe to my channel as well. Drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching, and Ninja out. Peace everybody, and have a good day.